Hello, everybody. Hello. I'm so happy to see your comments. I'm so happy to have you here today. Oh my God, do you have birthday today? Really? Dmitro, is it true? If so, I am amazed. Yes, hello. So yeah, unfortunately, that's our final meeting this spring. But maybe for some of you, as you shared, some of you attend only 10th class, it's possible that we meet sometime again. Congratulations, Dima. That's amazing. I'm so happy to have you here, even though you have your birthday. Happy birthday and good luck with everything you start, not only with the exams. So I believe you can do it. And again, thanks for joining. As you can see, lots of greetings from our students are there in the comments, and I think that's amazing. So let's get started. Today we have the final topic, as I said, and today it's, on the one hand, it's pretty easy, but on the other hand, it has so many different tricky things. But I'm pretty sure we will deal with that. So let's get started. We are going to speak about articles and different other things connected to determining the words, like other, another, any, some, and stuff like that. So I'm pretty sure we are ready to start. So many greetings in the comments, and I think that's beautiful. So let's begin. Okay, so first of all, here I have a sentence about New York. Can you please rewrite it in the comments using all the articles where they are needed? Or you may skip some places if you think the article is not needed there. I'll miss you too, guys, by the way. So it's not only your feeling. Okay, so rewrite the sentence using those articles. Okay, so many guesses, but I think I need to reveal it and then we will figure it out. So, Times Square, the name of the square, no article, is a place because it's one of many places in New York. So, we don't use any articles with cities, yeah? Then, tourists in general, not specific ones, from all over the world, because we have one unique world, want to visit the site. Why the? Because we mean one particular place with one particular view. Okay, so let's compare with your answers. I can see so many comments and you have knowledge about that, but today we will dig deeper and I'll try to explain everything that was maybe missing there. So, Times Square is a place in New York. Tourists from all over the world want to visit this or the site. Okay, so then let's check the rules in details. As you definitely know, we have three possible articles in English. So, indefinite articles a and n, definite article the. And first of all, let's focus on usage of indefinite articles a and n. So first of all, we use them only with singular, одниною, countable, злічуваними, nouns, іменниками. Тобто лише злічувані іменники в однині. Nothing like water or snow, which is uncountable, goes with an, and nothing plural, like parents, people, go with an. That's impossible. Also, we use an, as you already mentioned in the comments, when we speak about something mentioned for the first time. Like this is a cat. The cat is black, right? Also, we use a or an with jobs, professions, occupations, and other things that notify what the person does in life. For example, he's a student. I'm a teacher. Or for example, he's an engineer. So basically, she's a housewife. Even if it's not a profession, but just something you do for life, you use article A. Also, we use it with certain numbers and expressions of quantity. For example, we can say 100, we can say 100. Or give me a cup of coffee, meaning 1 cup of coffee. So typically in the meaning of 1. And here you can see some examples of that. For example, Julie bought a new dress. We mentioned it for the first time. They live in a house. So we refer to it for the first time, and we mean that it's one random house from all the houses existing, not a flat. Thomas is a flight attendant, profession. Or the airfare only cost 100 euros, meaning 100. And I have a bit of time. So like not much. Yeah, so I can help you. Well, I think all is clear. Now let's focus on some tricky details. So, for example, when we have something like this, let's say person. So what should I say? He's good person. What is missing? Yeah, of course, that should be article A. So he's a good person, right? Okay, now let's make it a bit more challenging. I change good for honest. Do we still have A? He's an honest person? N. So you're right, absolutely right. We should change A for N. But why so? We have H first here. Isn't it consonant, приголосна? Actually, when we try to identify whether to use A or N, we always look not at letters, but at sounds. So if we check pronunciation, it would be honest, right? In pronunciation, sorry, I simplify it because I don't have all the symbols, but you got the idea. The first sound we hear is O. So he's an honest person, right? Okay, I'll write you a few more examples and you try to tell me what article we use there. So, let's say it's useful thing. So, what about this? What about useful thing? What do we use? Yeah, so H is silent, all is good. What about useful thing? An useful thing? Actually, no. So here we are good with article A. It's a useful thing. Again, let's check the pronunciation of this word. So in the pronunciation, we would meet useful. I won't write all the word, but you got the idea, yeah? Like the first sound is y, u, and y is consonant, приголосна. So that's why we say a useful thing. All right? So it's a useful thing. Useful, usual, unique, and other words starting with y, u. Yeah, голосний vowel, приголосний consonant. Y is consonant, while O is vowel. Okay, we dealt with that. Now, let's try something even crazier. So, let's say that his agent. What should I use? Briefly, his agent. Yeah, so here everything's easy. He's an agent because agent is clearly vowel, голосна. Yeah? Okay, now let's change it a little bit. Let's imagine he works for FBI. So what should I do with an article in this case? He's an agent, yeah, we agreed. But what about FBI? Okay, so let's pronounce it. If I write it like here, I say FBI, right? So what sound goes first? If he's one of many, we don't need article there. It's still about A or N. But as you can see here, the first go sound F, FBI. So again, we go with article N here. He's an FBI agent because in abbreviation, yeah, we have A as a first sound. So I'm saying that because sometimes it even depends on using the full name, like Federal Bureau of Investigation agent, then we would say he's a Federal Bureau of Investigation agent. But if we change it for abbreviation, we say he's an FBI agent. And that would be your answer. So again, when you decide about the article, A or N, always listen to the first sound. Trust your sound hearing as you do in Ukrainian and do not follow the letters. All right? So I hope that was clear. And now we can keep moving to other types of articles. So this time we focus on a definite article, which is only one, the. So if you say, give me an apple, I can come to any apple tree and give you any random apple from there. If I say, give me the apple, you will probably understand which one I mean, or you will clarify, like, which exactly apple do you need? Because you understood that I mean something unique and special. So the article is used when we refer to something that has been mentioned before. So remember a cat, which was black. So now I would say that the cat is sleeping now, for example, and you will got me that it's that black cat we were mentioning before. Also, we use this article for unique things. They could be unique for the whole universe, like we say the sun, the earth, the moon, or they can be unique in some particular context. For example, when we say, open the window, please, we mean one particular window which can be opened in the room where you are now, right? So, for example, when I say close the door or open the window, you won't run to, I don't know, your neighbor's house, right? You will do it in your flat. So that's why we specify it this way. Okay, I got a question from Andrei. So they live in a house, not a flat. Why not the house? Explain. When we say he lives in a house, do we see it in front of us? Do we show at this house? Or we just mean one of many houses, which is different from a flat? Probably the second one, right? So when I say he lives in a house, I mean він живе в одному з мільйонів будинків на землі. Like that. For example, I need a pen to do this task. Or for example, I need a pencil to do this exercise. So give me any random pencil, any random pen. And the same, like he lives in one of many, many houses in the world. The same thing, she works in an office, like in one of many offices in the world. But the office she works at is, for example, in the center of Kyiv. Then I specify. But when I mention for the first time, I always use article A, indefinite one. They have a car. Like, there are millions, billions of cars in the world, they just have one of them. Or if you want to make it simpler, if you can use one instead of an article, you use an. If you can use this instead of an article, you use the. So give me this pen. Give me the pen. Give me any pen. Give me one pen. Give me a pen. That's the difference. And this rule always works when we speak about not proper names, не власні імена, не власні назви. Okay, so let's keep moving. Things which are unique, as I said, could be in some particular context, like the room, or can be unique in the whole world. It depends, but it could be both. So, also, when we refer to some specific person or thing, meaning we know which exactly we want to hear about. For example, give me the phone. I don't need your phone. I don't need other people's phone. I need mine. And you probably get it, right? Give me the phone, like my phone. Also, we can use the when we speak about adjectives that refer to some group. So I will show you example in a second, but in general, we can say, for example, the elderly, like старші люди, люди старшого віку. Even though elderly originally is just an adjective, like elderly people, старші люди. But if I want to skip a noun, люди, in this, I just say the elderly, meaning старші люди in general. And also, when it comes to geographical names, typically it's about different water objects and groups of objects put together. We will speak about that deeper, but for now, just look at the list. So, canals, deserts, канали пустелі, island groups, it's important, one separate island, no article, island groups, mountain ranges like the Alps, the Carpathians, oceans, rivers, and seas. And when we speak about people of a certain nationality, but basically that's very similar to adjectives that refer to a group, right? And when we refer to some species, тобто види, тварин чи рослин. And with superlatives, like the biggest, the highest, the tallest. But pay attention when you use pronouns. For example, you may say, he's the best friend. But you say, he's my best friend, and never the, my, or my, the. Like, you don't combine article with relative pronoun. З присвійними прийменниками ніколи не поєднуємо. Sorry, присвійними займенниками. My Ukrainian gets worse. Okay, so here we can check all the examples. For example, they live in a house as we were speaking, but the next sentence, the house I'm talking about, which you already know from the context, in small but comfortable. But first mentioning is a house, one of many. Then, there are thousands of stars in the sky. Sky is one and unique for our whole planet. The Prime Minister. So, if we speak about current, like діючого прем'єр-міністра, of one particular country, so we are in the context of this country, then we use article the. Also, life is tough for the unemployed. Непрацевлаштовані. We have the feeling that people is missing there, right? So when we have no noun, but we want to mark some group of people, for example, with an adjective only, we use article the to mark that we mean people and not just adjective. Okay, so about Times Square. It's a proper name. Давайте домовимося зараз, що до власних назв ми повернемося трошечки пізніше. Тому що якщо ми говоримо про загальні іменники, тут у нас є розподіл на an для будь-яких, the для специфічних. Якщо у нас ідуть власні назви, там буде або артикль the, або жодного артиклю, але це вже окремі правила. Поки що ми більше фокусуємося на загальних іменниках, не власних назвах. Окей? So, let's keep moving, I guess so. Here you can see the Amazon River as a geographical name, the Italians as a nation, the black rhino when I don't mean one rhino, одного носорога, but the species in general. And the most amazing, but only my most amazing or his most amazing, when we mention whose it is, we don't need that. Okay, let's keep moving. So now let's focus on cases when we have no article. And first of all, that's about abstract nouns. So happiness, sadness, for example, and other things which we cannot touch, cannot feel, which are completely abstract, we don't use articles with them typically. Love can save the world, right? Or friendship is something you should value. All of them don't need articles. Also, speaking of geographical names, what you asked me about, we don't use articles when it's a city, or a country, or a continent. Also, when it's some day, so we never say a Monday, right? When it's one separate lake, one separate mountain, or one separate island. Also with languages, we study English, we know Ukrainian, right? Also, about school subjects. So you may like art, for example, and so on. Also, we do not use articles with expressions about transport. So this is a car, but I like traveling by car. Автомобилем, it's not about by some specific object, it's about type of traveling in general. So we travel by car, by plane, by train, on foot, and so on. Also, when we speak about some expressions, meaning not the particular place, but more like the role of the person being in it. So when I say that he's in hospital, he's not a visitor. He's a patient there, so the person is ill when they are in hospital. The same when we say he's in prison or he was sent to prison. If I want to visit somebody, I would say I need to go to the hospital to see my aunt, or to the prison to visit, I don't know, some criminal and to take interview. But if they are in prison, in hospital, it means they are patients or imprisoned people. Also, the same about university and school, yeah? So we go to school, I am at school right now, meaning I am a person who studies there, yeah? So I'm not just visiting it as a parent for parent gathering. And the same with work. So at work, meaning I'm working there right now. So, speaking of languages, Diana, typically we just say Ukrainian language. You don't need article there, right? We can, if we refer to language as general word, we use article A, like, wow, that's a good language, right? But if we mean Ukrainian language, English language, you don't need article that. Why? So, let's look at the examples here. Exercise, like заняття спортом, вправи in general, is a key to a healthy life. He climbed Mount Everest, one separate mount, not a mountain range, but one separate mount, no article. People in Switzerland, they speak French, German, Italian, and Romansh, or Roman, I guess. Pay attention here. Country, languages, no article. But the German they speak, however, is different to the language they speak in Germany. So here we specify, meaning та німецька, якою вони говорять, різниця від німецької в Німеччині. Make sense? So, when we specify something, when it's different from typical, then we can use articles there. We are traveling by plane. As I mentioned, it's not about one separate plane, it's about type of traveling in general. You can change a few planes on your road, it doesn't matter. He's been studying at university, meaning he's a student right now, so it refers more to his occupation rather than the place in particular. And Dad is still at work. Again, we don't refer to some particular office or factory or, I don't know, any other place. It's more about he's busy there. So, yeah, the Dnipro River, but we use rivers with article the. Again, water objects, which are rivers, seas, oceans, are used with article the. Lakes, on the contrary, if it's one separate lake, no article. All right. So let's keep moving. So many questions today, guys. Now, more about geography. I have already mentioned it. Let's sum up. We use the. Speaking of geographical names, when it's a group of islands, but generally speaking, if it's a group of anything, basically. Давайте запам'ятаємо одне правило, з яким буде дуже легко. Якщо ми говоримо про групу чогось, ніби як множина зібрана докупи разом і носить одне ім'я, це завжди буде артикль the. For example, the Bahamas. We have many different separate islands. Nobody knows like each separate name, but all of us know that there are some islands which together are called the Bahamas. And the same with the Maldives, the Philippines, and so on. So like famous groups of islands with one name, they are used with article the. But if we have one separate island, we don't need it. For example, Madagascar or Great Britain, you know it's an island, no article. But the British Isles, Британські острови, meaning Great Britain and all those small islands surrounding it. So also, when we speak about groups of mountains, or we call them mountain ranges, yeah, like гірські масиви, хребти, many separate mountains put together under one name. The Andes, the Alps, the Himalayas, and so on and so on. Also, just remember, deserts. So we have the Sahara, the Gobi Desert, the Kalahari Desert, and so on. Пустелі, артикль за. Seas. Again, desert and sea, they typically don't have like clear border, right? Sea turns into another sea. Desert can spread its sands all around. So here we use the Baltic Sea and so on. Oceans, the same. Like sometimes it's really hard to trace the real border in between the oceans, yeah? That's why the Pacific Ocean, like the amount of waters put together, or the amount of sands put together. Next, rivers. So the one you asked me about, rivers go with article the. Canals. And also countries in which names we have something like of, for example, the Republic of Congo. State, like the United States of America. Kingdom, like the United Kingdom, the Czech Republic, and so on. So also it refers to islands. For example, the island of something would be with the. But if one island has one particular name, then no article. Also, when we speak about countries or territories, when it sounds like something plural, we typically use article the. The Netherlands, Nederlanden. So lands like землі, a set of areas put together. The United States, штати об'єднані разом. And so on, for example, the Philippines, yeah? So countries put together. We don't use the when it's one separate country, especially having one name. Pay attention, there will be two exceptions. We don't use article when we have individual mountains. So one peak having one name, no article. Говерла, for example. Then islands when it's one separate particular island, but not the island of Maine, for for example, then it would have article the. Towns and cities, never articles, but the hag. Haha. One exception, remember it, please. Regions, East Europe, Western Europe, California, Middle East, no matter what you mention, if it's some region or territory, no article. And continents in general, Europe, America, Asia, no article. Lakes, one separate lake, no article. But if you call a group of lakes with one name, then you need article the, because it's again a group of something. For example, the Great Lakes on the border of Canada and USA, right? All right, so I hope I have answered all your questions about geography as you are communicating about places where you live. But let's focus a little bit on grammar, all right? And now it's time for you to show me whether you remembered everything. So please, number 1, just number and article, or dash if you think it's not needed. So Isabella has been living in Madrid for 20 years. Number 1 and a and the or nothing dash. Yeah, it's no article, it's one separate city. Number 2, Thames is the longest river in England and the second longest in the United Kingdom. So, number 2, be very careful. The Thames, we were speaking rivers, seas, oceans, go with article the, all right? Number 3, in May 2007, when Gina was 5 years old, her parents decided to immigrate to, number 3, mention numbers or I'll get lost, to the Netherlands, exactly, because it sounds plural. All right. So number 4, what about Baltic Sea? Should be easy. Just mention number 4. Yes, Dima, the Baltic Sea as any other sea in the world. Number 5. Again, quickly, it's easy. Mention numbers or I don't know what you're writing about. Anyway, it's correct. The Alps, Alpy, a group of mountains under one name. Number 6. Lake Baikal. What do you think? So number 6 already, yeah? Lake Baikal. Nothing, exactly. Nothing because lakes are not seas, rivers, and oceans. Річки, моря, океани, канали, пустелі, article the. But lakes, one separate lake, no article. Number 7. The highest mountain in the world is no article, one separate peak. Number 8. The United States and Europe are divided over how to respond to the crisis. So, number 8. Nothing, because it's a part of the world. United States as a country, article that is needed, but Europe as a part of the world, not needed. Okay, number 9. But if we had America, we wouldn't need any article. She's planning a trip to the Bahamas. We don't specify one separate island, we mean all the group, right? Number 10. Number 10, please. The Sahara. Моря, річки, океани, пустелі, канали. Пустелі, Sahara, desert, right? Okay, number 11. The largest island of Greece, Crete, no article, is popular. And the last one. Let's check your attentiveness. I highlighted it in particular. So, the Hague, it's like the only city with use with an article. Aha. Okay, good job there. So then, now let's briefly check some other topics which are connected with, oh my god, articles. So, quantifiers. We have lots of them, or we have many of them, right? And now I would like us to check the differences to that. So, first of all, much, many, a lot, or lots of. Typically, we use much with uncountable nouns and usually pay attention in negative sentences or in questions. So, typically, we don't say, I have much time. We usually say, I don't have much time. Yeah? For example, or do you have much time for that? So, much typically refers to questions and negatives. We use many with countable, злічуваними nouns, of course in plural, because logically it's not possible in singular, yeah? And again, many is preferable to questions and negatives, even though, like, we can say I have many friends, and it's absolutely right. We use too much and too many when it's more than needed. Забагато, right? Okay. So then, we use a lot of or lots of with, pay attention, both plural countable, злічувані в множині, and uncountable, незлічувані, in affirmative or positive, negative sentences, and in questions. So with lot of, it doesn't matter what type of sentence you use or what number. So it's like a great life hack if you don't know what to write, many or much, you just use a lot of. But as we don't have writing in the tests, sometimes you need to remember what to use. So here we have some examples, and pay attention, please. Information, we never have many information. We have much information because it's uncountable. But also here, I would invite you to remember some more words which are very closely connected. So if we speak about, for example, knowledge, or when we speak about news, or when we speak about advice, all of these words are also uncountable. So they gave me much knowledge, or there is not much news today, so I don't know what to tell you about. Pay attention, not many. Much news uncountable. Or he didn't give me much advice on the topic. I still don't know what to do. So advice like porada in English, that's some uncountable amount of information. So you don't use countable quantifiers with them. Just remember it. And here you can see a lot of other examples, but I think I don't need to name them. So when it goes to quantifiers, please, let's focus on the difference between a little and try to choose the correct option. So I have a little or little money, so we can go away this year. What would be correct? Your ideas? So number one, yeah, I have a little money. So tell me please, do I have much money? No. But can I do something with my money? Yes, I can. Like, I can go away. I can travel, probably. So in this context, a little means positive. Like, that's enough for my goal, even though it's not a lot. Number two, we have little money in the bank, so we can't go on holiday. So a little is always positive context, enough to do what we want. little, negative context, not enough for our goals. So, again, a little is like some is there. It's enough for what I want. Little, not much, not enough. Both are used with uncountable nouns. Should I explain why money is uncountable, or it's clear? I hope so. If not, just put a question mark. I will focus on that. And now, please, the second column. So there are a few or few seats on the plane, so you can still get a ticket. It's just that some of my students, they say like, but we can count money. But we can count hryvnias, dollars, euros, coins, banknotes, but not money, right? We can never say one money and two monies. I'm sorry for that stupid joke. So yeah, there are a few seats on the plane, so you can still get a ticket. It's a positive meaning. Yeah, and there are very few, недостатньо, дуже мало seats on the bus, so we can't sit together. Right. So a few have absolutely the same context or difference, only considering that we use them with countable злічуваними nouns, right? But tell me, please, what if we have some sentence which is initially with a negative meaning? For example, he scored, let's say, 98 out of 100. So, does it mean he, oh my god, why it's capital, made a few mistakes? What do you think? So, he scored 98 out of 100. It means he made few or a few mistakes. He made few mistakes. Yeah, that's right. So, if we speak about something negative like mistakes or other bad things, then few mistakes is good, right? But a few mistakes, it's like we need to stop and probably focus on it. So a few mistakes, it's like some significant number that we need to pay attention to. Few mistakes, good job. So you understand what I mean, yeah? Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. So in most of the sentences, positive meaning is for a word, but if it's initially the negative meaning sentence, then it works vice versa. Okay, let's keep moving. So now it's time for you to decide whether we use few, a few, little, a little. So I will give you some time and you can put all of them together, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And meanwhile, I can give you more examples. For example, he was super fast. He spent very little time on solving this problem. That's good, right? To spend not much time. But he spent a little time to solve the problem. It was a bit difficult. So a little meaning some time was spent, actually. Okay, here, number 1. She's got very few friends. Yeah, so it's negative. Недостатньо. The person probably feels sad because of that. Number 2, I've already been to Ireland. A few times. Exactly. So it's positive context. Yeah, like I have something to count. I have some experience. Okay, number 3. So he still has a little money. Good for him. Positive result. Mm-hmm. Okay. Next, my mother gave us a few oranges. Yeah, so like it's enough, we can share. Next, there was little negative meaning food in the fridge. It was almost empty. And she has little money, not enough. Okay. So here you have the rules. I invite you to check them one more time after we have the meeting so you can sum it up. But as I prepared lots of materials, let's keep moving for now. So look please here and try to choose the correct option. You can stay in any or some of the hotels. They are all good. So what do you think? Okay, you can stay in any of the hotels, будь-якому з готелів, because all are good. Yeah. And number 2, I've got some good news for you. I've got some good news for you. So like not some random news, but some specific news. So with some and any from primary school, you probably know that typically we use some in positive sentences or affirmative, while any typically goes for negative ones and for questions. But it's not always like that. As you can see here, any is used in a positive sentence. You can stay in any of the hotels у значенні будь-який, right? But some у значенні деякий, якийсь конкретний, I just don't name it, but I mean something specific. In that context, we can use them interchangeably. So if we don't know whether you have any coffee, we will say, do you have any coffee in your house? So the answer could be yes or no. We don't know whether the person has it. But if we offer, would you like? We would say some coffee, even though it's a question, because we know that if we offer coffee, we probably have some. So would you like some coffee, which I have, just like a part of it? Okay, so as you can see at the rules, we use some. First of all, with plural countable nouns, множина злічуваних, and uncountable, незлічуваними, in affirmative sentences, у стверджувальних реченнях. But also we can use some in polite questions, offers, and requests. So, do you have some time, or can you please spend some time with me? It's a polite question. Or do you need some help? Or would you like some coffee? So all of them would work with some because we know what we offer or what we ask for. Okay, then here you can see the examples. Can I get you some towels? So I have them. I just offer a part of towels I have. Would you like some tea? Again, I know that I have it. Any is used, again, with both countable and uncountable, typically, as you can see, in negative sentences and questions. But also we can use it in positive sentences, in the meaning it doesn't matter what. Like, немає значення будь-який. Like, give me a pen. Which pen do you need? Well, give me any pen. Like, I don't care. Or let's go to a cafe. Which cafe do you want to go to? I don't know. I think any would do. Yeah? So I don't care. That's why I say any instead of some. With some, I usually mean something in my head. With any, I don't care. So there aren't any lifeguards. Negative sentence. Is there any? When we ask, use any computer, meaning each and every computer in the room would work, right? Okay. So now I think we can keep moving to quantifiers. So we typically use no with both countable and uncountables in negative sentences, but with an affirmative verb. Тобто, коли у нас є стверджувальна форма, немає заперечення, ми вживаємо no. Right? So we can say, I don't have any time, or we can say, I have no time. We use plenty of, again, with both of them, in the meaning of like a lot, right? So, you have no idea where we are going, do you? Жодної ідеї. There are plenty of plane tickets left. Безліч. We have plenty of time. Let's have lunch. There is no time to waste. Let's go. And number 5. There are no seat belts in this car. Where should I sit? So, now it's your turn to sum it up, all of it, by doing the test. So please, number 1, what do you think is here? Okay, number 1. The Pacific Ocean, that's right, as any ocean. Number 2. Number 2, please. Across the Kalahari Desert. Again, oceans, seas, deserts, rivers, and canals. Number 3. You say no article, and that is right. Lake, comma, one separate lake, never with an article. Number 4. That's A and then the. As a chef, profession, and from the head chef, we mean exact person there, so we need to specify. Okay, number 5. So what's number 5? £100. So pay attention, here we use A in the meaning of one, like 100 pounds, 800 pounds for it. We cannot use option D, because if we mean сотни, then we would just say hundreds of pounds, yeah? Okay, and number 6, the poor, because we use adjective in the meaning of a noun. It's like poor, meaning бідні. So in Ukrainian, you would call it субстантивований прикметник. The adjective that moves into, or that turns into a noun, or that acquires features of a noun there, yeah? So it doesn't explain some noun anymore. It becomes the thing or the group, the noun. So that's why we use the. When we want to show that adjective turns into noun, kinda. Okay, so now let's do one more test. Again, some, any, no, none. You're welcome. Please go. Okay, so number 1. I don't think there's what? There's any pizza left. So you say some if you know it is there. But if there are 2 options, like some pizza, no pizza, and you don't know which option is true, you say any. Я не знаю, чи хоч якась піца залишилася. Okay, number 2. They have 4 daughters, but none of them, жодна з них, know people, but none of people. None of them, жодна з них, lives nearby. Number 3, Jack found Julia at home, but there was, number 3, no answer, жодної відповіді. Yeah, so none of, жоден з, no, just жоден before a noun. Okay, number 4. If there are any, якщо будуть хоч якісь, again, we don't know whether we should expect some phone calls or if there will be no phone calls. So if we choose in between some and no, we use any. If there are any, якщо будуть хоч якісь, let me know, but maybe there will be no. Okay, number 5. There are seldom any good documentaries on the TV. Хоча б якісь. Some good documentaries, it would be more in the positive meaning, like there are some good documentaries on the TV, but seldom any, хоча б якісь, немає жодних. Okay, so here again you can check the rules and sum up it in your head somehow, but for now, in the seconds left, we need to look very briefly at one more topic. So I hope we'll have enough time. So if you need to choose not in between many, but in between just 2 options, like you have just 2 options, A or B, you can use words like both, either, or neither. So what do you think we should choose in number 1? So both hotels, either hotels, or neither hotels. Yeah, both, like обидва готелі, both hotels are along the coast, вздовж узбережжя. Okay, neither could be, but I think context is not given. So number 2. Either, yeah, будь-який з цих ресторанів, кожен з них, is nice. And number 3, I think you can guess, neither of these locals knows where the bus stop is. Жоден з них. Yeah, so we use either to mean 1 out of 2. So I don't know whether, what should I choose? I will go either to the cafe or to the restaurant, yeah? Or either of them, like choose in between. We use neither when we exclude both, exclude 2. Again, if we exclude multiple number, we say none. None of my classmates know this topic, but neither of my 2 friends knows this topic. So again, none of many, neither of 2. And both, it's pair equivalent to all. All of my classmates know it, but both of my 2 friends know this rule. Yeah, all right. So then, right now, I think you can practice this exercise on your own and then check yourself. I would definitely send you the keys. And now let's sum up with just one more very short exercise. So I give you 1 minute. Try to give me all the answers. Is a restaurant. It's singular. Is a restaurant is like кожен з цих ресторанів. будь-який з цих ресторанів. So, it's the same as we say, any person in this room might be a criminal. The same is the person from two, is there is one, yeah? Кожен з них, будь-хто з них. But we choose in between two. No, we finish soon. It's the final task for today. We just started like a few minutes later, so I'm dragging that a little bit. So, Slavочka, in all these words, like either, neither, both, we speak about the choice in between two. So, we say both people, plural, but either of these people is one. Будь-який з цих людей. And none of these people is. Жоден з них. Okay. So here, again, hurry up. I don't see many answers. So, there is what? Too much furniture. Yeah, забагато for uncountable. Furniture is uncountable. Number 2. Yeah, you started moving. Please make sure to take plenty of water. We need a lot. Okay. Number 3. We had been in the restaurant for an hour, but neither of the waitresses came to take our order. So how many waitresses were there? Only 2. Right? Because otherwise we would say none. Number 4, there aren't many activities. Good. Number 5, almost every guest. And number 6, it is true that there are what? Lots of dolphins in the Mediterranean, у Середземному морі. Okay, very good. So, then, there is one more subtopic about other another, but I will give you all the things you need in your saved webinar, yeah? And for now, let's just focus on the final tips. So it will take no more than 1 minute. First of all, I wish all of you good luck. Stay focused. Check tenses. Be very careful with the context. Try to translate everything using the right tense, like future, past, or simple. And just keep calm and ace that test. So first of all, in the time that is left before your NMT, try doing some real tests and then focus on the mistake. So after you checked what the mistake was, try to justify in your head what was the right answer. Тобто сфокусуйтеся на вирішенні і пошуку правильних відповідей після того, як ви вже пропрацювали з ключами. Спробуйте довести самі собі, чому саме та відповідь була вірною, а інша була помилковою. І знайти, і підкреслити все це в тексті. Also, focus on what you need. So, for example, if you know that you make more mistakes in reading, keep doing those reading tasks more. If you know that most of your mistakes go for grammar, focus on grammar topics, especially the ones that you need. Then, train your own strategies. We were speaking about all the types of the tasks and the strategies that you should follow doing them. Check those webinars if you need to improve your strategies and try to stick to them. And practice doing the tests again and again. You have plenty of time. You still have enough to do all the tests which are available online. And I believe you can do it. And have a good rest before the exam. I believe you can do it. So now I can see some questions in the comments. Презентації до вебінарів. Так, вони будуть. Я сьогодні додала всі, крім останнього. Останній, де ми трошки пропустили завдань, які я рекомендую вам зробити самостійно, також буде доданий впродовж декількох хвилин. Okay, about next year. I would be so glad to see you there. I don't know yet, but if I'm offered, I will definitely join you. All right, thank you So I'm really happy to see all your positive comments and feedbacks. They motivate me and they show me that we are doing something good. So I believe it helped you. And I was really, really happy to work in your friendly, smart team of young students. So I believe that you will have really nice results of your exams. By the way, you can even share them in the comments later on after you pass them. Good luck. I believe that it will be all right, and hopefully meet you somewhere in the future. Bye-bye.